Mom texted me at 2:47 a.m. "This is your sister's home now, don't come around." So I bought the house from the county and left my family shocked. At 29 always thought I knew my family, that blood meant loyalty, and that they would never treat me like I did not matter. But one text at 2:47 a.m. changed everything. I was working at my desk, looking at reports, when my phone buzzed. It was Mom. The message said, "Don't come around anymore. This is your sister's home now. We've changed the locks." No explanation, no warning, nothing. The house I had helped take care of for years suddenly felt closed to me. The place where I fixed things, paid bills, and tried to help was now off limits. My sister was back, and somehow that meant I had no right to be there. I sat and stared at the phone, feeling angry and shocked. I wanted to call, to yell, to ask why, but then I remembered something important. I had been paying the property taxes since 2019. I had covered repairs and insurance quietly while Dad's health got worse and Mom tried to manage everything on a small income. For 5 years, I had done it all without complaining. And now they were pretending I did nothing. I typed back simply, "Understood, but you forgot who's been paying the property taxes since 2019. I put the phone down, opened my laptop, and checked the account I had managed. Everything was there, all the payments I had made, all the bills I had covered. The autopay was still active, but in a few clicks, I canceled it. Then I forwarded the tax notice I had planned to pay next month to Mom's email. No words, just the notice. I did not expect thanks or apologies. I just wanted the truth to be seen. For once, the consequences would be on them. The next days were quiet and heavy. I focused on work, went to the gym harder than ever, and thought about moving closer to downtown. If my family wanted me gone, I could live my own life without them. Phone calls came from numbers I knew, but I ignored them. Dad left a message about a misunderstanding. I deleted it. My aunt called, asking about Mom and taxes. I said I did not know, then hung up. The silence felt strange, but I knew this was only the beginning. Exactly 1 month later, I got a screenshot from my sister. No words, just a photo of an eviction notice on the door. The deadline was clear. 30 days to pay or leave. My coffee turned cold as I looked at it. Part of me felt satisfaction, seeing them face the problem they ignored, but mostly I felt empty. I did not respond. I called my real estate agent, the one who helped me buy my condo, and set a meeting to learn how to buy the property from the county. I had been saving for a home. This would just be a different kind of investment. 2 weeks of paperwork passed. My phone rang many times with voicemails from Mom, Dad, and my sister. I listened to one. Mom's voice was small, scared, and different from her usual tone. She asked about the bills and papers, not about the text or the locks. I did not reply. Finally, on a Thursday morning, the county sale went through. I signed the papers. Legally, the house was mine. My family had 30 days to collect their things and leave. That evening, I drove by. They were inside, moving slowly, acting as if nothing had changed. The irony was clear. The 30 days after I bought the house were heavy and full of quiet tension. I went to work, focused on my projects, and tried not to think about the house too much, but every thought returned to it. I remembered the small details. The floors that creaked in the same places, the loose door latch that always stuck, the overgrown flower boxes Mom had loved but forgotten to water. Even though I owned it now, the house felt strange, as if it belonged to memories that were not entirely mine. My family had treated me like I was invisible, but I had legal proof of everything I had done for years. That proof gave me a strange feeling of control and justice. 2 weeks into the 30-day notice, my sister came to my office. The receptionist said she was family and needed to speak with me. I let her in. She looked different than usual. Her hair was messy, clothes wrinkled, and dark circles under her eyes showed sleepless nights. She sat across from me, crying, asking how I could do this to our family. I handed her tissues and waited quietly. Finally, she looked up and tried to explain. She said I was being cruel, that I was trying to take the house out of spite, and that Mom and Dad were heartbroken. I asked her to read the text message Mom had sent me. She read it slowly, and her face went pale. She admitted Mom had been stressed and angry that day, but she could not deny that the words were harsh. Then I asked her who suggested changing the locks. She hesitated and admitted it had been her idea. She said she felt crowded and needed space after her divorce, but she did not know I had paid the taxes and helped for years. I told her the county sale was final. Legally, the house was mine, and I could decide who could stay. She began crying again, asking what it would take for me to let them stay. She offered to pay rent, to help with maintenance, to sign any agreement I wanted. I thought for a moment. Then I asked her if she remembered my college graduation party. She looked confused but nodded. I told her that I wanted to celebrate at the house, but she and Mom told me it was not appropriate. I asked if she remembered what she said about the backyard party. Her face went even paler. She realized that back then, she had told me the house belonged to Mom and Dad, and I could not decide how it was used. I said that was true then, and it was true now. The difference was now I legally owned it. She had asked me to stay away with a text. That text had been honored. Finally, the 30 days expired on a Tuesday. I drove by the house that morning and saw a moving truck in the driveway. Mom, Dad, and my sister were loading their belongings. Dad moved slowly, his arthritis making every step hard. Mom supervised, her face tight and serious. My sister carried smaller items, looking exhausted and defeated. None of them looked at my car, though I was sure they had seen me. By evening, the house was empty. I used my key to walk inside. Every room felt familiar yet foreign. The floors creaked the same. The banister wobbled. The bathroom door stuck slightly. Everything was as it had been, but the feeling of family was gone. I walked through each room, remembering birthdays, Christmas mornings, and quiet Sundays. Mostly, I thought about the text that started everything and how easily they had tried to remove me. 6 months later, I sold the house. Not to hurt anyone, not out of anger, but because it never felt like home again. I handled repairs, made small improvements, and listed it with my real estate agent. The sale price was higher than the county purchase, and I made a profit of $89,000. More than money, the sale gave me closure. I moved on to a new home across town, free from family drama. I heard through my aunt that Mom, Dad, and my sister had adjusted to their new apartment. Dad's health was stable, Mom was getting by, and my sister had returned to work. I was glad they were okay, but I did not miss the constant tension. The day the sale closed, I drove by one last time. The new owners were a young family, smiling and happy. The house seemed alive again. I realized that true family was not about blood or shared history. It was about respect, loyalty, and showing up when it mattered. I had finally learned that lesson. I could build a life on my own terms, without anyone who could send a text at 2:47 a.m. to say I was not welcome. Sometimes the best revenge is living well without the people who never appreciated you.